I got no feelings for these lips. They under strong delusions, and I can tell what it is. Ay, in 2024, who y'all voting for? In 2024, who y'all voting for? Play the track loud, make sure the speakers thump. Does everybody know Joe put us in the top? In 2024, who you voting for? In 2024, who you voting for? Back to blue, baby, back to blue. I got a red light, I can't move.
Guys, you gotta clear the sidewalk.
Back to blue, back to blue. If BLM was here, they'll have no problem with them staying here.
there about once a week. They want an 8 by
You, man? With Nick and Ronnie? People say you look like him? No?
Never gotten that, but
No?
I'll take it.
Darryl Jones? You know what I'm talking about? Bass player with the Stones?
Never got.
Too young.
A little too young for that one, but
see us the other night. Wow. What were you doing here? Proof of life?
I just think he looks like Darryl Jones.
Well,
Especially since the Stones. My head. Yeah.
Testing 1, 2. I am testing the mic. We just updated the mult box right now, so I'm just testing it. Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello. Hopefully the other mult box is working. I'm speaking at a normal register. It's not a very high register or anything like that. So we are speaking at a normal level. He's probably going to be speaking a lot louder than this. But we're just trying to get general audio levels right now. And we plugged in to the mult box to begin with at the start of the day. That was only a 12 channel. It's working?
everybody. This is a case where if they can do this to me, they can do this to anyone. These are bad people. These are, in many cases, I believe, sick people. When you look at our country, what's happening where millions and millions of people are flowing in from all parts of the world, not just South America, from Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East, and they're coming in from jails and prisons, and they're coming in from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're coming in from all over the world into our country. And we have a president and a group of fascists that don't want to do anything about it because they could right now, today, he could stop it. But he's not. They're destroying our country. Our country is in very bad shape. And they're very much against me saying these things. They want to raise your taxes by 4 times. They want to stop you from having cars with their ridiculous mandates that make it impossible for you to get a car or afford a car. But make it very possible for China to build all of our cars. It's a very serious problem that we have. We just went through one of many experiences where we had a conflicted judge, highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before. I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands of dollars in penalties and fines and was threatened with jail. Think of it. I'm the leading candidate. I'm leading Biden by a lot, and I'm leading the Republicans to the point where that's over. So I'm the leading person for president, and I'm under a gag order by a man that can't put 2 sentences together, given by a court, and they are in total conjunction with the White House and the DOJ, just so you understand. This is all done by Biden and his people. Maybe his people more importantly. I don't know if Biden knows too much about it, because I don't know if he knows about anything. But he's nevertheless the president, so we have to use his name. And this is done by Washington, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. So we have a judge who's highly conflicted. You know what the confliction is. Nobody wants to write about it, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. If I do, he said, I get put in jail. So we'll play that game a little bit longer. We won't talk about it, but you're allowed to talk about it. I hope you do, because there's never been anybody so conflicted as this. As far as the trial itself, it was very unfair. We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft. People say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action. And you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell. And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted something, they got everything. They got everything they wanted. It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted. And obviously he didn't do that. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We had a DA who was a failed DA. Crime is rampant in New York, violent crime. That's what he's really supposed to be looking at. Crime is rampant in New York. Yesterday in McDonald's, you had a man hitting him up with machetes, a machete. Whoever can imagine even a machete being wielded in a store, in a place where they're eating, and he's going rampant. And Bragg is down watching a trial on what they call crimes. They're falsifying business records. That sounds so bad. To me, it sounds very bad. You know, it's only a misdemeanor, but to me, it sounds so bad. When they say falsifying business, that's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before. I'm falsifying. You know what falsifying business records is? In the first degree. They say falsifying business records. Sounds so good, right? It means that legal expense I paid a lawyer, totally legal. I paid a lawyer a legal expense. And a bookkeeper, without any knowledge from me, correctly marked it down in the books. A very professional woman, highly respected, she testified, marked it down in the books as a legal expense. So a legal expense, paid a lawyer, is a legal expense in the books. It's not sheetrock, construction, or any other thing. It's a legal expense. Think of that. This is what the falsification of business records were. And I said, what else are you going to call it? What else are you going to call it? Now, I would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify, because as soon as you testify, anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to. But the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case. Because I would have loved to have testified. To this day, I would have liked to have testified. But you would have said something out of whack, like it was a beautiful sunny day and it was actually raining out. And I very much appreciate the big crowd of people outside. That's incredible what's happening. The level of support has been incredible. So the whole thing is legal expense was marked down as legal expense. Think of it. This is the crime that I committed, that I'm supposed to go to jail for 187 years for. When you have violent crime all over this city at levels that nobody's ever seen before, where you have businesses leaving, and businesses are leaving because of this, because heads of businesses say, man, we don't want to get involved with that. I could go through the books of any business person in this city, and I could find things that, in theory, I guess, let's indict him, let's destroy his life. But I'm out there, and I don't mind being out there, because I'm doing something for this country, and I'm doing something for our Constitution. It's very important, far beyond me. And this can't be allowed to happen to other presidents. It should never be allowed to happen in the future. But this is far beyond me. This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my presidency. And the people understand it, because I just see a poll just came out, the Daily Mail. That was the first one, came out, was done last night right after the verdict, where I'm up 6 points. 6 points from what we already were. We were leading fairly substantially. We're up 6 points in the Daily Mail poll. Now, maybe other polls come out and it says something differently. But a lot of people have predicted it, because the public understands, and they understand what's going on. This is a scam. There's a rigged trial. It shouldn't have been in that venue. We shouldn't have had that judge. He should have allowed us to have an election expert. We had the best expert, most respected expert, head of the Federal Elections Commission. He was all set to testify. He was waiting for 2 days. And when it was his turn, Bragg's people protested, and the judge knocked him out, said you can't testify. He actually said you can't testify for anything having to do with the trial. You can say what the federal elections is. Well, that doesn't help. Everybody knows that. But you can't testify. So essentially, he wasn't able to testify. Other people weren't able to testify. But with these people, they were able to use people salacious. By the way, and nothing ever happened. There was no anything. Nothing ever happened, and they know it. But they were as salacious as they could be, and it had nothing to do with the case, but it had to do with politics. And do you notice the timing? The timing was perfect. This case was dead. It was dropped by every agency, every governmental board. It was dropped by the highly respected Southern District. They said, no, there's no case here. It was dropped by federal election, and that's what it's about. This is about a federal election, not a state election. You're not even allowed to look at it. They took the state and the city, and they went into a federal election. They're not allowed. The people from federal election, Southern District, and Washington dropped the case. Everybody dropped the case. There was no case. Cy Vance dropped the case. And when Bragg came in, he said, this is the most ridiculous case I've ever seen. And who would have a certain person, again, gag order, who would have a certain person like this ever testify? He said, this is essentially one of the worst people I've ever seen ever to testify. He said, the craziest case I've ever seen. This is Bragg. Then when I announced I was running for president, a long time later, they decided to revive this case. And they got a judge, Judge Marchand, who was responsible for another case that was also brought. It destroyed the life of a very good man, by the way. Destroyed the life of a very good man who went to prison once, and then they just put him in prison again because they said he lied. He didn't lie. I looked at the statements he made. In fact, he didn't remember something, and they put him in jail. Again, they've destroyed him. With me for many years, he was an honorable person. He was an honest man. And if you look at what he did, supposedly, it never happened. There's never been anything like this. Over the education of his grandchildren. Over, he didn't report that he had a car or 2 cars on his income. I don't know. I wonder how many people here have cars. I wonder how many people said, oh, gee, I have a car that's worth X dollars. How do you even figure it? And I guess you do have to report it, but I would say probably almost nobody does. Nobody even thinks about it. They put this man, they destroyed this man, but they put him in jail again because they didn't want him to testify. They didn't want him to testify. That's why he went to jail. They put him in jail twice. He's 77 years old. Now, normally I'd say that's an old guy, but I don't feel 77. Nobody ever says that about me. I'd like them to say, gee, we have to have a little sorrow for this man, because they just don't say that about me, but maybe I'm better off that way. I think I'm probably better off that way. But they put him in jail twice. And you have to see what they put him in jail. And he was threatened by the judge. This man was told, you're going to get 15 years in jail if you don't give up Trump. And he was told that. You're going to get 15 years in jail. And he made a plea deal because he didn't want to spend the rest of his life. And he was told that viciously. We're living in a fascist state. He was told that viciously. So you can go to jail for 4 months, 5 months, or you can get 15 years in jail. So do a plea. Almost who wouldn't do that plea? Everyone does those pleas. It's a horrible thing. There's a whole group of lawyers that fight that. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. But they destroyed his life. So many other things. You look at Southern District didn't want to bring the case. Nobody wanted to bring the case. And then you know who didn't want to bring the case? Most of all is Bragg. Bragg didn't want to bring it. But then he brought it. And they tried to make it a different case. They didn't say legal expense equal legal expense. Again, if I wrote down and paid a lawyer, and by the way, this was a highly qualified lawyer. Now, I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But, you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that. Took me a while to find out. But he was effective. He did work. But he wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. You know, they like to use the word fixer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. At the time, he was a fully accredited lawyer. Now, he got into trouble not because of me. He got into trouble because he made outside deals, and he had something to do with taxi cabs and medallions, and he borrowed money. And that's why he went. And then he pled to three election violations. And as soon as I saw that, I said, I wonder why he did that. He pled. He took a deal. Now, he took a deal because he wanted to get off. In other words, I'll take a plea deal, and I want to get off. And he wanted to make a deal with the Southern District. And they wrote the worst report I think I've ever seen on any human being, other than the report that was written on James Comey by the Inspector General, a very great Inspector General, actually. Wrote a report that was so bad. This one was possibly worse. The Southern District, the judge didn't let us use it. He said, it's hearsay. I said, it's not hearsay. Wouldn't let us use it. This is about the man. But he got in trouble for a very simple reason, because he was involved with borrowing a lot of money, and he did something with the banks. I don't know if it's defrauded the banks, but something happened. You guys know what it is. And then in addition to that, he gave up on 3 things where he wasn't guilty. In fact, they were going to testify in that. The head of the FEC, the Brad Smith, the election expert, #1 rated in the country, was going to testify. He took a plea on 3 things. He just added them in because that gave him more bargaining power with respect to me. But the 3 things that he pled on, having to do with the election and having to do essentially a little bit with me, they weren't crimes. They weren't crimes. Nor is paying money under an NDA. So we have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. It's a big deal, a non-disclosure agreement. Totally honorable, totally good, totally accepted. Everybody has them. Every company has non-disclosure agreements. But the press called it slush fund and all sorts of other things. Hush money, hush money. It's not hush money. It's called a non-disclosure agreement. And most of the people in this room have a non-disclosure agreement with their company. It's a disgrace. So it's not hush money. It's a non-disclosure agreement, totally legal, totally common. Everyone has it. And what happened is he signed a non-disclosure agreement with this person, I guess other people, but it's totally honest. You're allowed to make the payment. You don't have to make it. You can make it any way you want. It's a non-disclosure agreement. And he signed that. And there was nothing wrong with signing it. And this should have been a non-case. And everybody said it was a non-case, including Bragg. Bragg said, until I ran for office. And then they saw the polls. I was leading the Republicans. I was leading the Democrats. I was leading everybody. And all of a sudden, they brought it back. It's a very sad thing that's happening in our country. And it's a thing that I'm honored. In a way, I'm honored. It's not that it's pleasant. It's very bad for family. It's very bad for friends and businesses. But I'm honored to be involved in it because somebody has to do it. And I might as well keep going and be the one. But I'm very honored to be involved because we're fighting for our Constitution. The money that was paid legally. There was nothing illegal. In fact, the lawyer in creating the NDA, because at that time he was a fully accredited lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. I never thought of him as a fixer. The media called him a fixer, or the prosecutors called him a fixer. He was a lawyer. And he was fairly good. Later on, I didn't like what he did. I didn't like, for instance, I didn't like that when I became president, he went around and made deals with companies. When I heard that, he was gone. He was gone. And he had payments coming to him, and a lot of this involved things that are very simple. There was nothing wrong. This was standard stuff, all standard stuff. Everything involved was standard. There was no crime here. In fact, I just watched a couple of the reports. You watched Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, Greg Jarrett. You look at all of these people, Mark Levin, all very talented people, great people, many more. And they don't know me, essentially. They don't know me. They're legal scholars and experts. But I look at them. I watched Turley this morning saying, there's no crime here. Everybody says there's no crime here, except for this DA that's got the city out of control with crime. It's absolutely out of control. So we have an NDA that was signed. We have legal expenses. And here's the thing on legal expenses. You have 100 where they say, they do a charge. I just recorded this out. Falsification of business records in the first degree. It sounds so bad. I said, wow. And even my own lawyers, I get very upset with them because they don't say what it is. They say, well, falsification of legal records is only a felony. Well, that's a lot. It's only they say a misdemeanor. But they try and bring it up to a felony if there's 2 crimes. They have all these different things. The other thing is they miss the statute of limitations by a lot. because this was very old. They could have brought this 7 years ago instead of bringing it right in the middle of the election. So they missed the statute of limitations. They did everything. Now, let me give you the good news. The good news is, last night, we just got a report this morning, in the history of politics, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, somebody will find that I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think so. They raised with small money donors, meaning like $21, $42, $53, $38, a record $39 million in about a 10-hour period. No, think of that. I like those people. Because so far, I guess it's backfiring. Now, I don't know. I'd rather not have it happen. I don't want to have it backfiring. I don't want to win this thing legitimately, not because they were stupid and did things that they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't have brought this case. They were saying it this morning. This is a case that should not have been brought. I watched Andy McCarthy say this is a case that should not have been brought. And that was this morning. But they all say that. Every legal scholar has said it. And these are great people. They really understand the law. The other thing, a poll just came out. The first poll, I don't know, maybe others will be bad. But a poll just came out a little while ago. The Daily Mail. Does anybody read the Daily Mail? It's very good. They have a good poll. At least I like it today. And the Daily Mail just came out with a poll, and it has Trump up 6 points in the last 12 hours. 6 points. 6 points since this happened. Who thought this could happen? Because the people of our country know it's a hoax. They know it's a hoax. They get it. You know, they're really smart, and it's really something. So we're going to be appealing this scam. We're going to be appealing it on many different things. He wouldn't allow us to have witnesses. He wouldn't allow us to talk. He wouldn't allow us to do anything. The judge was a tyrant. And you got to see that with Bob Costello, a fine man. I've never seen anything like it, and neither has anybody that was in that courthouse where he demanded that the courthouse be cleared. Now, the good news is most of the people in the courthouse were the media. And anybody that was in the media, if you're fair, you'll say, wow, that was anger. That was crazed. He was crazed. And the reason that Bob Costello acted a little bit upset, which I think he has a right to, was that every question he was being asked was being objected to by the other side and sustained by the judge. Sustained. I think he did it many times. I don't know what the number, many times. Even I was sitting there saying, and these were basic questions. And I never saw anybody treated that way by a judge. And I've been treated very badly by two other judges also, because it's all the same thing. And it all comes out of the White House. Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. He's the worst president in the history of our country. The most incompetent. He's the dumbest president we've ever had. He's the dumbest president, most incompetent president, and he's the most dishonest president we've ever had. And so many of he's a Manchurian candidate. You take a look at the way he treats China, Russia, so many others. You know, I ended the Russian pipeline. It was dead. He comes in and he approves it. And he gets $3.5 million, meaning $3.5 million is paid to the family, his family, from the mayor of Moscow's wife. And I said, where did that come from? Nobody wants to talk about it. But he's a very big danger to our country. And the only way they think they can win this election is by doing exactly what they're doing right now, win it in the courts because they can't win it at the ballot box. So we're going to show them that, we're going to fight. It's actually, I don't know, it's something where I'm wired in such a way that a lot of people would have gone away a long time ago. They would have gone away after impeachment hoax #1. That was a total hoax. I had great support from the Republican Party, though. Then you had impeachment hoax #2. And then they formed the committee. How about they formed the committee of thugs, the J6 committee of thugs. And they took their records and they destroyed all of the records after the committee was abandoned because those records were great for us. Now, can you imagine if Republicans did that? Everybody would have been in jail by now. Think of it, the unselect, I call it the unselect, they call it select committee, I call it the unselect committee of thugs. They meet, it's 100% Democrat and 2 past Republicans that are no longer Republicans, that are no longer in business anymore, thank you. But it was all Democrats and 2 wayward Republicans. Liz Cheney and crying Adam Kinzinger. He cries every time he goes on television. He's the most emotional human being I think I've ever seen. And that was our representatives. These 2 people were our rep. So they had all this stuff that they're leaking. And then when it came time to look at the records, like where the police said and the Capitol Guard said that I supplied, think of it, that I recommended as many soldiers or National Guard as you want. 10,000. If you had 500, you wouldn't have had a problem. There wouldn't have been a J6. But Nancy Pelosi and the group didn't want it. Anyway, so they have testimony to all of that, that I did not attack the Secret Service agent in the front of a car. You know, these are strong people. And I supposedly went to the driver, and I grabbed him around the neck. And he rebuffed me, and then I went to the other guy, who I think is a black belt in karate, and he's slightly younger than me. Maybe 35 years, 40 years, 50 years. And I grabbed him around the neck and said, he's a black belt in karate. They know how to get somebody from around their neck. They would have gone like this, and that would be the end of that. Actually, I had a friend that said, you shouldn't dispute that. That makes you look like the toughest cookie we've ever seen. You should have let that go on. But the fact is, it never happened. It was all made up. And that was proven to be made up. It proved to be a false story. And they deleted and destroyed all of that information, every ounce of it. We're dealing with a corrupt government. We have a corrupt country. Our elections are corrupt. Our borders are open. Our borders are going to be closed very soon. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. Now, when I say that, because my people are always saying, do this, because we're fighting for America, DonaldJTrump.com. I hope everybody watching right now, DonaldJTrump.com, because it really makes a difference. They have a lot of money on the other side. I don't know where they get it. Nobody knows where they get it. But for some reason, they get money. But they're not on the side of our country. In many ways, I think they hate our country. Who on earth can want open borders where people are allowed to pour in from countries unknown, from places unknown, from languages that we haven't even heard of? We have people sitting in schools with languages where very few people have ever even heard of these languages. It's not like Spanish or French or Russian. Languages unknown. We have people coming from corners of the globe, and many of them are not good people. Many terrorists, record levels of terrorism, record levels of terrorists have come into our country. Record. They've never seen anything like it. You know, there was a report that in 2019, I don't believe this, by the way, the media gave it, and it was good for me, believe it or not. They said in 2019, there were no terrorists recorded that came into our country. I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible. But 2019 was a Trump year. I don't believe that that could be possible. But they said no terrorists came into our country. So let's say it was close. Let's say it was close. But now record levels of terrorists, record levels, the highest level we've ever seen of terrorists are pouring into our country. You have China with just in the last few months, 29,000 people came in, and I looked at them on a line, and they look like perfect soldiers. They're almost all male, from 19 to 25. It looks like a recruiting exercise. They have beautiful tents. They have propane stoves. They have cell phones, the best you can buy. I said, what's going on? It looks like they're building an army right in our country. Now, I don't think that would happen, right? We're losing our country. And I really think that this is an event, what took place yesterday with this judge. Look, we have conflicted, but he's a crooked judge, and you'll understand that. And I say that knowing that it's very dangerous for me to say that, and I don't mind, because I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to save our country and to save our Constitution. I don't mind. So thank you. So we will continue the fight. We're going to make America great again. Very simple. When people fight MAGA, they say, we're going to fight. I watch Biden. We're going to fight MAGA. We're going to stop MAGA. It's make America great again. That's all it is. MAGA. Make America great again. Our country's in serious trouble. We owe $36 trillion. We were energy independent for the first time ever, and now we're begging Venezuela for oil. One statistic you have to hear. Venezuela was crime-ridden. Caracas, their cities, crime-ridden. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They just reported a 72% drop in crime in the last year because all of their criminals, most of them, and the rest are coming in now, the ones that didn't come in. In Venezuela, their prisons have been emptied into the United States. Their criminals and drug dealers have been taken out of the cities and brought into the United States. And that's true with many other countries. The Congo has just released a lot of people from jail. Congo, Africa, just released a lot of people from their prisons and jails and brought them into the United States of America. This is what's happening to our country. And it's not sustainable by anyone. Little things like our kids can't have a Little League game anymore because you have tents and you have migrants living on the fields. That's the least of it. People are taking over our luxury hotels, migrants, and yet our veterans, our great veterans, are living on the streets like dogs. They're living on the streets. But migrants are living in luxury hotels in cities all over our country run by Democrats. So it's my honor to be doing this. It really is. It's a very unpleasant thing, to be honest. But it's a great, great honor. We're gonna do what I have to do. I'm going to do it. And the support has been, that's why I mentioned the number of $39 million. That's why I mentioned we're up 6 points. And we went up a lot over the last month because everybody saw it was a rigged deal. It was a rigged trial. But we're going to make America great again. We're going to make it better than ever before. November 5th, remember, November 5th is the most important day in the history of our country. Thank you very much, everybody.
In this bogus sham trial that has been taking place in New York City. Also addressing the American people, letting them know that he also knows that you have... All
right, guys, it's Rumble, yeah. RSVS. I would have come on. Hey, you have like about 45 minutes.
Been a while.
Missed
Hopefully
them.
they didn't go home.
Oh, they probably just parked.
Probably took a lunch break.
I don't want them to party.
Yeah, it's been a while. Put your camera anywhere with the story.
Can't forget about Puerto Rico. Kept the good and I did it to the people. Tell you tipping if you thinking I ain't gonna go down the list. I was made for such a time as this. Let's get right back into it. Them cages that they think I'm told Obama built and used. This all lies that they've been telling us. I promise it's fake news. They hate me, they hate you. I know that sounds strong, but I promise it's so true. They hate the country too. No matter what we do, Christians how we started, and they really hate that too. They hate the truth, they hate the Jews. But that's not also blessing. That's a promise they can't lose. So it's up to me, and it's up to you. Use critical thinking when it's certain the fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. Most of what they tell you fabricated is fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. Pushing misinformation when they know that it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. They label us what they are themselves. Believe me, it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. They try to destroy the land and the freedom. I don't believe them. I don't believe the hate is really the strong. They can't deceive them. I said they had a plan with the cops right underneath them. We'll use them. So panic, just watch. Next a riot, they won't trust the cops. Hell of a plot. Next we'll split the races. Feed the hate with fakeness. Give them idols that worshiping like the sense to change it. Control the kids with some mass. There's no imagination. People entertaining. They get their facts from means. This hate is whack. It's a trap. Exactly what they need. They falsify the media just to havoc the scene. And they don't want no change. They just gon' play their games. Firmly be strong in the Lord. Rather break free from the change with the full armor of God. We can stand deep in the flames. This war is not a fight against flesh. It's a principalities and powers that control us. A wickedness in the fallacies. I'm done. I'll probably be next because I preach the sun. Because the truth will set you free and the faith is gonna be undone. They hate me, they hate you. I know that sounds strong, but I promise it's so true. They hate the country too. No matter what we do, Christians how we started, and they really hate that too. They hate the truth, they hate the Jews. But blessed for those who bless them, that's a promise they can't lose. So it's up to me, and it's up to you to use critical thinking when discerning the fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. Most of what they tell is fabricated is fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. Pushing misinformation when they know that it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. They label us what they are themselves. Believe me, it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news. It's fake news, it's fake news.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
Let's go, Trump!
What is the whole thing except for too much information?
Fuck that motherfucker!
So what a responsibility you all have.
This next song is called Until November! We are on till November! Let's go!
20 of 20 of the most dangerous cities in America
are controlled by Democrats. Think of that. 20 of 20. Here comes the boom. Like you, not in the tomb. Collecting all this info, dropping it to a tempo. Use that and shit, cause it's next shit like a pencil. But I ain't writing up no lies, ain't putting on no disguise. Corrupted criminal ties. Voters are all blind, so they riot on us. But China and Joe are buddies who dropped the coronavirus on us. What a Kaliki did. All of our accomplishments are gone in a twinkling. Pelosi's always twitching and glitching, that's so too fiddling. Ripping up them papers the way that she do the Constitution. Trump, Russia, Putin, fabricated illusion. Trust me, when November comes, there's no shot we're losing. That's why they're pushing vote by mail. Getting high-profile criminals all out of jail. And if you're 16, well, then you can vote as well. This all is too convenient, man. You're dumb if you can't tell. We don't have to vote with our sisters and brothers. Ask my dog rights and they don't care about your color. We coming out in droves cause we ride for each other. We're to die for each other. And with the stakes so high we might die for each other. We ain't playing undercover. Talk mega gang, undisputed, no contender. You know what time it is, so you'll be on to November. But I've been on since I was born in September. I'll be on in November.
Turn 2020, yeah, say it loud. Rock a MAGA hat and do it proud. Got my own bread, they can never blackball me. Man, cause I didn't come to back where salty.
Everybody come together, time to back the blue.
Ain't no doubt I love this land, we gon' make it through. Red, white, and
Blue, yeah, I bleed it. You hate this country so bad you can leave it.
They only talk about me
Cause I'm using my voice.
Matter relevant, 45 is a choice.
4 more years, we want 4 more years.
We need a boss,
Not a crooked politician this year. We're not to sisters and brothers. Ask my dog price and we don't care about your color. We coming out in droves cause we ride for each other. We're to God for each other. And with the stakes so high we might die for each other. We ain't playing undercover. Trump MAGA gang, undisputed, no contender. You know what time it is. Since we gone to November, but I've been on since I was born in September. Now we on in November.
First it was Russia, then it was Ukraine, then it was a virus and China is worried, then it was riots. Okay, they playing us like a game. Release the body cam footage, too much later, that's a shame. And we still shut down, and they force us to wear masks. People are out of work, our numbers are dropping fast, and people give up their freedom for the illusion of safety. But me, I do not comply. Terror Cooper to make me, I choose dangerous freedom. I'm sorry, I don't believe them. We can't have church, but they can loot out here like some heathens. What's Obamagate? Oh, that's your parents committing treason. They thought they had the game on lock until I dropped magazines, and I got more coming. And they thought that they had me deep, but now they all running. And there's more of us out there too, so now it's
All of nothing. Make KLC bartend again.
Okay, I'm probably
We
fine.
don't have to vote with our sisters and brothers. Ask my dog Bryce and we don't care about your color. We coming out in droves cause we ride for each other. We're to die for each other. And when the stakes so high we might die for each other.
Quit seeking validation through sympathy. Through my evaluation, boy, you coming off weak to me. The difference between a 44 and a 45 is a longer barrel. I'm supporting Aunt Jemima up at Cracker Barrel. Mega head, mega flames, keep on getting mega cash. Blue collar Republican, here to change your liberal plan. I ain't trying to argue, but please have an open mind.
Fleetwood Mac, Trump wins by a landslide. And we ain't playing undercover. Trump MAGA gang, undisputed, no contender. You know what time it is, so you'll be gone to November. But I've been on since I was born in September, now be on in November.
How they doing, the Democrats running those cities?
The whole country will be like that.
During the whole country.
I wasn't born as a jet, but see part of it was a gift. And the gift was at the bottom, so I hopped right off the cliff. The good meat and bad meat created in the kitchen, but the sun shined through and that was how it came to this. A character was built in me through my experience and my own voice and my...
I'm gonna get out of here. Sorry. Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
USA!
USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA! USA!
Somebody go get the grill, the deer, junior here. Price and he brought the ribs, cornbread and collard greens.
Watch your back.
Yes, you're making a loop. The next block. Up here? Oh, no, wait. You can't cross. That's what I'm telling you. On the document. Begging you, bought, caught. Oh, I see. And it says, I love Lucy, like it's a career. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to find them. Oh, sure. You gotta go to the sidewalk. My guy I've been meeting. Well, if he's there, then you ain't got the shot. He's been taking away at home. So you have to go to the sidewalk. You can't stand there. But yes. You can't stand there. So we're looking forward.
Looks good. Looks real good. This is just the beginning, people. Get ready.
Excuse me, sir.
Guys, can't be here. You get to the street. Yeah, you gotta go to sidewalk. Guys, I'm going this way. Gotta cross on that side. Everybody else. What you got? You put it? Oh yeah, if you have none, that's different. If you're walking there, you're gonna have to. I walk the street.
I'm NYPD, but today I'm in uniform. Yeah. Thank you. How are you guys? The weather is actually pretty good today, right? It's nice. Oh, hey!
Rainy outside.
go Brandon, come out of hiding, hear the voice of the people chanting, fuck Joe Biden. You pat your pockets and build it back.
Device connected.
Strong down in Texas, from sea to shining sea, from the suffering to New York to Philly, we can bring back the American dream, and it's time we stand and say, we're gonna make America great again, we're gonna keep our country free.
Step aside, step aside.
I don't know. We're about to get killed. Just your hope. Don't bank on nothing till it.
Everybody gotta step aside, step aside.
Until you got it.
Good? Good? You okay?
Tony, don't get her riled up.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nobody listens. You have to brandish a weapon.
Watch out. You have to clear the street. You have to clear the street.
Guys, you gotta let us out. So.
I don't think.
have to clear the roadway.
What? Oh my God. Fighting the power, that was beautiful.
I guess I can pull.
Not right now.
Look at that. Classic Jaguar. No, you miss it. Forest green or British green. Good. Oh my God, I missed it. That was so fucked up.
Over there. After that, the rest is free.
Only people that got a shot was fucking over there. Well, I got his head at the truck, but
That was over there.
so ends my career. This is why this is a big story. Let me tell you, they did a great trial opening, entertaining, same money. There's no belief that it's coming.
I haven't heard. Could be. I haven't. He doesn't have to be here. Right? It's Friday, right?
No, I know, but he didn't have a stain.